Cultural evolution of the early Filipino, page 49. Malay was the principal language of Southeast Asian commerce during those times. It is not surprising that a number of Malay loan during words to Philippine language pertain to commerce. These include talaro, scale, upa, payment, lako, pedel, gusali, hol, tunay, real means hard cash, and biyaya, grace means disbursement. Still other words illustrate the impact of commerce on culture like atsara, pickles, patis, brine, puto, native cake, kilan, stove, pinggan, plate, aral, learning, and pagsamba, adoration. At the height of the Sri Visaya power, which originated in Palembang, Sumatra in the 7th century around 1000 AD, the Sri Vijayan merchants conducted extensive trade with China and India in the 12th century. The Sumatra-based kingdom of Sri Visayan had also expanded its influence in the Philippine archipelago. According to Sulu tradition, between 900 and 1200 AD, immigrants from Champa, an Indianized kingdom in Indochina, established a trading colony with the Buranos of Sulu. The men of Champa were called Urang Dampuans, who were then vassals of the Sri Visaya Empire. The Orang Dampuan settled in Tangima, now Basilan. They become the ancestor of the Yakans. Years later, immigrants from Banjarmasin, Borneo, other Sylvia dependents settled in Sulu. They were the Orang Banjar, men of Banjarmasin. They engaged actively in the rich pearl trade. To establish goodwill with the Buranums, they brought with them a beautiful princess and offered her as a bride to the native ruler. This state marriage resulted to deeper relation between Sulu and Borneo. Like Dampuans, the Orang Banjar introduced Indian culture in Sulu. Centuries of direct contact with the Indianized trader left vivid traces on Filipino history and culture. The Indian influences were clearly noticeable in the religious belief, language, literature, and custom of the ancient Filipinos. Bathala, the name of the chief god of the pre-Christian Tagalogs, came from a Sanskrit term Battara, meaning great lord. Also of Hindu origin was the belief of the early natives that the universe is filled with good and bad spirits. They offer religious sacrifices and prayers to this spirit for help and protection. Many Filipino fables were linked to Indian literature. Included here are the story of the monkey and the turtle, the tale of the race between the deer and the snail, and the Visayan anecdote of the hawk and the hen. Filipino folk literature was also, to some extent, influenced by Indian literature. Popular epics including Darangan of Lanao, Lamang of Ilocanja, Ibalon of Bilukulandia, and the Alim and the Hudhud of the Mountain Province were inspired by the Mahabharata and Ramayana, which likely began in the 3rd century. These epics were ritually recited. The early Filipinos had already developed a system of syllabic writing with each symbol representing a syllable. The Tagalog script was called baybayin, sometimes erroneously called alibata. It consisted of 3 vowels and 14 consonants. With a total of 17 letters, the writing system was horizontal from the left to the right. The writing instrument used was a sharp-pointed iron locally known as sipol. With this iron instrument, the native engraved words on bamboo shaft, wooden boards, leaves of plant, pottery, and metal. Remaining pieces of evidence of pre-colonial writing are so rare. Only 3 had been previously found: the 4th, 15th century Butuan silver strip, the 10th century Butuan ivory seal, and the 15th century Kalatagan jar. The first artifact of pre-Hispanic origin that had writing on the copper material dates back to 900 AD. The script inscribed on it was written in Kavi, Old Japanese writing system, which does not look similar to the ancient baybayin. The text was in a language similar to 4 languages, namely Sanskrit, Old Tagalog, Old Javanese, and Old Malay. The copper object is now called Laguna Copper Plate Inscription. It was found near the mouth of the Lumbang River of Laguna Province in 1990. The tin copper plate measures 20 by 30 centimeters in size. Anton Pusma, a Dutch national who has lived with the Mangyan for a long time and the director of the Mangyan Assistant and Research Center in Mansalay, Oriental Mindoro, was able to unlock the message on the copper material. The LCI is an official record imprinted in the Saka year 822 in the month of March-April on the 4th day of the dark half of the moon on Monday. This document was issued to the Lady Angkatan together with her relative Buka, child of his honor Namran, clearing Namran, his family, and all their descendants of a debt. Equivalent to the 1 kati and 8 suwarmas of gold from the chief of Diwata. The pardon was issued by the chief of Tondo, represented by the leader of Paila Jaydewa. Others who witnessed the document include the leader of Pulilan, Ganasaki, representing the leader of North Saragay, representing the leader of Ubando, and the chief of Medang. The settlements during the LCI era flourished for some centuries, but things like natural catastrophes, epidemics, and emigration made them disappear. The Dutch expert who looked into the LCI authenticity conclude that the specific script style used the copper material was consistent with its indicated date, and that the correctives of the language and words used would have been very hard for Fongers to produce. Both oral and written literature had already flourished in the country prior to the coming of the Spaniards. This consists of bugtong, awit, salawikain, legends, myth, and poems. Some of the folk epics of the early times include in Ilocano, the Lamang; in Ifugao, the Alim and Hudhud; in Kalinga, the Ulalim; in Bicol, the Hanjong; in Maranao, the Bantungan; and in Maguindanao, the Indarapatra and Sulaiman. The customs and tradition of the early Filipinos bear Hindu influence. Among them were as follows: the placing of a fresh flower garland around the neck of a visitor, the giving of dowry and rendering of personal service in the house of the bride's parents by the groom before the wedding, the throwing of rice grains to the newlyweds after the matrimonial ceremony by the guest, and the offering of mixture of betel nut to a guest as an expression of hospitality. Then were early superstitions in the country that came from Indianic migrants. Until today, many believe that a girl who sings in front of the stove while cooking will marry a widower, and that a cat cleaning its face indicates the coming of a visitor. Likewise, eating twin bananas would cause a mother to give birth to twins. The mode of dressing in pre-Spanish Philippines shows Indian influences. The putong of the early Filipino men and the sarong of the early Filipino women resemble the Indian putes and sari. The archaeological relics excavated in the Philippines further indicate Indian influences. Some of these are the following: the gold image of Agusan, which was excavated on the left bank of Wawa River near the town of Esperanza, Agusan Province in 1917, now preserved at the gym room of the Chicago Museum of Natural History. The copper image of Ganesha, elephant god of the Hindus, which was also found in Mactan in 1843, and the god Garuda of Palawan, found in Brooks Point in 1961. The Garuda is a mythical bird that Hindu god Vishnu used as vehicle. According to paleographical expert, the ancient Filipino writing has originated from India, according to Dr. Pardo de Tavera. There are more than 340 Sanskrit words found in the Tagalog language. Dr. Jose Villa Panganiban, former director of the Institute of National Language, gives a longer list of 375 Sanskrit loanwords in the Filipino national language, which is basically Tagalog. These include the Filipino words ama, nanay, asawa, halaga, kalapati, kuta, sutla, saksi, tala, raha, sundata, and maharlika, to name a few. China during those times, having refined many of its developed in the field in historical writing, painting, calligraphy, and hard glaze porcelain, was beginning to expand its maritime activities in Nanyang, especially during the Southern Shang, Yuan, and Ming dynasties. Chinese merchants on board their junks left Chuanzhou, Canton, and other ports in China and traded with the people of Lingayen, Manila, Mindoro, and Sulu. Chao Jukua, a Chinese superintendent of foreign trade, described China's trade with Wang Taiwan description of medieval Filipino life appears in his Tao Chi Liu of the which was written in 1349. Both Chu Fanchi and Tao Chi Liu have section about a barbarous place called Pichea, which is presumably Bisaya. Wang Tayum described the natives of Pichea as being tattooed up to the neck. During the reign of Zudi, the Yonglu Emperor in the 14th, when China was expanding the boundaries of its domain, include the countries visited by his mission to pay tributes to the Ming court. The native ruler of the Philippines, Borneo, Java, Sumatra, Malay Peninsula, Indochina, and other Southeast Asian countries sent regular tribute embassies to the imperial court of the Ming Emperor. According to the Ming Shi Annals of the Ming Dynasty, record of Luzon, record of Kamilig, and the record of Sulu, the Philippines sent 8 tribute embassies to Beijing between 1372 and 1424. China's greatest maritime explorer, Admiral Zheng He, also known as Cheng Hu, led 7 expeditions from 1405-1433 in the South Seas and reached the Philippines, Borneo, Malay Peninsula, Singapore, Indochina, and Ceylon. It is said that Cheng Hu's first expedition, which consists of 62 ships, landed in the Philippines in December 1405. While in Hulu, one of these men, Pei Puntao, died and was buried in Jatli, Tunggaw, Hulu, on December 26. The Chinese of Hulu until this day visit the tomb of Pei Puntao to pay homage to the foreigners of Sino-Philippine relation. Centuries of trade and personal relation with the Chinese inevitably lead to the enrichment of Filipino life and culture. Decorated, enameled ceramics painted in traditional pattern were exported in the Philippines. The blue and white pieces of Chinese porcelain had the origins in the Ming period. The manufacture of gunpowder, the art of metallurgy, the use of porcelain, and gods meeting in the country were learned from the Chinese. The Filipinos practice a form of duck culture around Pateros and Taguig in Rizal that resembled the Chinese, which included the method of artificial incubation of eggs. They also taught the Filipino of kite flying and other games, including various forms of gambling like weteng, kuao, and panggig. The Chinese improved the culinary art of the early Filipinos from them. The native learned the roasting of pig, the brewing of tea for drinking, and the cooking of dishes like pansit, lumpia, chapsuy, and okoy. The Chinese also taught the Filipino the use of seasoning like toyo, tahuri, and vegetable like bataw, pichay, and upo. During the early times, the Filipino manner of dressing bore Chinese traces. The sleeve jackets of the Filipino males, the loose trouser of the Muslim women of Mindanao, and the use of slipper, wooden shoes, fans, and umbrellas were of Chinese origin.